Welcome to OkState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. It was a great night Saturday night in Boone Pickens Stadium. It was a close game at halftime. The Cowboys exploded in the second half and pulled away and beat the Cincinnati Bearcats. The first time they've ever played them as a conference member in the history of the two schools. Obviously, Cincinnati coming to the Big 12 this year. The Cowboys won 45-13, but it was a much, much closer game than that. Cincinnati, again, this defense for Oklahoma State, that gave up 277 rushing yards, still only gave up 13 points, though. They were able to force an interception and some turnovers, and really just feels like this defense comes up big when they have to. Another fourth down stop. This team is just simply, this defense specifically is just elite at getting off the field on fourth down. That's been a big part of it. They've also created turnovers. So despite the fact that Cincinnati did have some good success on the ground, of which they've done all year long, Cincinnati, this Bearcat team, has ran the ball well all year. The Cowboys still only gave up 13 points and won 45-13. Hey, quite frankly, honestly put, in my opinion, it was probably alanbowman's most inconsistent night in terms of hitting receivers. I think he had a couple of receivers open. He had rashodowens down by the goal line. He had Brennanpressley pinned up against the sideline. He had another one where he threw behind Pressley. He tipped up in the air that led to the interception. So despite that, I feel like that alanbowman, it was kind of interesting because the Cowboys had three receivers out yesterday. They had to dive into their depth pool. Leon Johnson III, how about him? He made his debut. He was on the red shirt plan, but he had to come out of red shirt last night. He still can. You get up to 4 games, but we'll see how that goes. But Blaine Green was out last night. Talon Shetron was out last night. Jaden Bray was out. So, hey, next man up, you got to use Rashodowens. He only had 3 catches, but they were all big. You remember he had that one against the sideline in the first possession of the second half on the second down play. So instead of it being 3rd and 10, it was like 3rd and 2, which got the Cowboys eventually their first down, got in the rhythm, they went and scored, and then they just exploded in the third quarter. So without that catch, if it's 3rd and 10, the Cowboys go 3 and out. Who knows if they explode like they did in the third quarter. Then he also, if you remember early on the 3rd and 7, he posted up in the middle of the field and got a big catch to move the chains on that one. Then he also had another one going, kind of on a little flag route towards the sideline. A great pass. One of alanbowman's best passes of the night. So only 3 catches, but they were all huge. Same with Brennanpressley. Only 7 touches, 4 carries. I believe it was 3 carries and 4 catches. But man, when you talk about scoring a touchdown both on the ground and through the air, hard to impact the game more than he did, as far as with that few amount of touches, but he certainly had a huge impact. Nick Martin was big again, 12 tackles. That makes 55 in the last month. He simply put is the best linebacker in the United States of America. Certainly in the last month he has been, but as of right now, you would have a hard time convincing me anything differently. 277 on the ground for Ollie Gordon, and he is the first back for OSU since Barry Sanders to go for 250 or above in back-to-back games. So congratulations to Ollie Gordon. Congratulations to the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Sets up a huge bedlam game. But hey, we've got a lot to talk about with the Cincinnati game. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it and let's talk Cowboy football. So the Cowboys get the ball first, and like they have in the last 4 games, they go right down the field and score on their first possession. Ollie Gordon, who is totally fired up, getting the crowd fired up all night long. Great run for the first run of the night for him. 277 yards for Ollie Gordon. Had a great night and a very, very good first run. Hey, I tell you what, though, Cincinnati, they run the ball well. They stop the run well, so they were very formidable early on. There's Braden Cassidy, who really made his mark. Blocking in this game, has been just a wonderful blocker for Oklahoma State for all season long. The young man out of Austin, Texas, Braden Cassidy. Hey, good to see him. Feed him a bone. Throw him a pass every now and then. Here's a good play from Ollie Gordon. Anytime you get Gordon in the backfield against a linebacker like you did there, that is going to be advantage Oklahoma State. Then you use that play again to throw it to Josiah Johnson. This was just a masterful play. You can tell this was scripted. Let me back it up. If you remember that play to Ollie Gordon where he slipped out of the backfield to get the linebacker to cover him, watch this. He's going to slip out of the backfield again. That's going to force linebacker to cover, which is going to open up this hole right here. Leon Johnson's going to run off his corner. So watch this. Let's see Leon Johnson running off his corner. Here comes Ollie Gordon. He's going to slip out here. That's going to, first of all, this linebacker has to fit on the run. That gets rid of this hole right here. And then right here, this linebacker is going to have to cover Ollie Gordon. So basically that leaves one linebacker left for Josiah Johnson. And that linebacker, if you see right here, he actually tries to get wood on him. That's what you call getting wood right there. See how he tried to get wood on him? He missed and he fell down. And this is where really the play was made by Josiah Johnson. The Bearcats still had a middle safety right here that could have covered Josiah Johnson, but look at Josiah. His eyes are on that safety to the inside. Okay, and then see how he looks inside. Let me back that up. Josiah Johnson actually looks inside. He jab steps inside right there, and then he whips back to the outside, and because of that, that kept the safety in the middle of the field. That kept him wide open, and that safety right there, because he looked him inside, because he jab stepped him inside, that safety stayed inside, could not catch up to it. That is called running a route with a purpose. That is elite route running for Josiah Johnson. Cowboys take the lead 7-0. So the Cowboys came out and established momentum with their offense. Cincinnati, though, hey, they just do a great job running the football, and they do a great job doing it, with that inside zone and the wide zone. What I want you to notice here, going to back this up just for a second. Look at this fullback. This is what gave Oklahoma State problems early. We're going to see that with the long touchdown run. This is just an inside zone play. As I back this up, you're just going to see all the linemen zone block to the right, but then you're also going to have a fullback to lead up into the hole. So it kind of gives you the best of all worlds. It gives you a zone lick, which is that three-way go, with also a lead blocker to it. So, hey, just give Cincinnati credit. They had a good zone game early on. There is zone right, a play action off of that. Emory Jones steps up and just hits a drag and just does a really good job. Hey, great job tackling and getting him down as we see the Cowboys stiffen up and force actually a missed field goal. Here's a good zone run up the middle for Cincinnati. So Cincinnati, there's that lead blocker again. See him? Didn't get anybody there, but that lead blocker gave Oklahoma State problems early in the game. That was the first adjustment the defense had to make. There's Nick Martin, one of his 12 tackles. The first adjustment was how to deal with that lead blocker. The Cowboys figured it out enough to force a field goal attempt, which was no good. Cowboys keep the lead 7-0. So after a punt by Oklahoma State, then a punt behind that by Cincinnati, and then a second punt by OSU, the Bearcats get the ball back, and we're getting ready to see the long run, the coast-to-coast that they went on. Here's another inside zone. Look at that zone left here. Just a good run by their backs and good, powerful run. They have good running backs. They have good zone scheme. They believe in it. They do very well with that inside zone, and here it comes. And the outside zone, just not necessarily a misfit from Kendall Daniels. What I'm going to show you as Montgomery, he just takes off, and he is to the house. Back that up, and let's see what happened. It kind of looked a little bit worse on Daniels' part than it actually was. Watch this lead blocker. This is a cloud corner. This is a great concept for Cincinnati. And when I say cloud corner, I mean there is no receiver over here. So this corner now has this run fit to this alley. The Cowboys are leveraging that with Kendall Daniels. So the Cincinnati Bearcats, they are going to use this lead blocker to kick that corner right there. And so Kendall Daniels is going to play inside leverage, thinking that he has this corner to play outside leverage. Well, the corner was not there because he got kicked to the sideline, and because of that, that created that crease, as we watch here, that allowed Montgomery to hit right there, that crease, inside of the corner, outside of Kendall Daniels, and head to the house. Not necessarily bad leverage from Daniels, just a great, well-designed play by Cincinnati to kick that corner and get that crease and get on the scoreboard and tie the game 7-7. Again, that was the first adjustment the Cowboys had to make, was how to deal with that lead blocker, in combination with that zone game of Cincinnati. So Cincinnati had tied the game at 7. Oklahoma State got the ball back, and this is a great run here. Watch that sidestep right there, just subtle move. So instead of being about 2nd and 9 like it should have been, It's 2nd and 4, which does such, just wonders for your play caller in Casey Dunn. Here's a flea flicker. In my opinion, best pass of the night for Alan Bowman. Drops a dime into Rashodowens, of which we mentioned, hey, the Cowboys were thin at receiver. They had 3 receivers out, Blaine Green, Jaden Gray, Talon Shetra. None of them played, so Rashodowens needed to step up. Got a little bit dinged up on this play. Came out limping just a touch, which was worrisome. But, hey, this was just an absolute dime that was dropped in. And here is Ollie Gordon here. Here's the fumble right there. You don't see this very often from him. Just had a shoulder pad right there. Actually kind of an elbow shoulder pad combo on the football. Fumbles the ball, and from that point on, he had about 250 yards. So that motivated Ollie Gordon, no doubt about it. But Cincinnati had the ball, tie game 7-7. So the Cowboy defense is back on the field after sudden change, and this was just great scheming from Coach Nardo, knowing you needed to kind of flip momentum. The Cincinnati Bearcats had tied the game. You had just turned the ball over. You need something to put the momentum back in your corner. So he dials up just an elite blitz. Watch this right here. We're going to show, Xavier Benson. First of all, you had slide protection to the left, so your defensive line, if you backed it up, watch the defensive line intentionally is going to slant to the right. They're going to do that on purpose to get this offensive line to slide this way. So watch the defensive line. They slant right. See that? See how they slant right? That gets this offensive line to slant left. Now, on top of that, Xavier Benson is going to blitz immediately. That is going to draw the attention of the running back. So now you have the offensive line. You got them to slide left. You got the back to pick up Xavier Benson. Look at Nick Martin right now. He is looking at this back. Once this back has identified Benson, and Martin now knows that this back is going to pick up Xavier Benson, that's when Nick Martin activates. Watch him. Now, there he goes right up that crease, and he creates a huge play right after the sudden change, a momentum changer for the Cowboys. Just wonderful scheme for Coach Nardo, and it gives the ball back to Oklahoma State. Hey, very aggressive. Alan Bowman to Brennanpressley on the shadows of your own end zone. Just broken away there. Not quite enough mustard. And there's a pass over Brennanpressley's head. So, hey, 7 touches, but more targets than that for Brennanpressley, which is a fantastic thing because he is a playmaker. Then watch this. LJ3, Leon Johnson III, the Division III All-American, goes up. I'd rather see him catch that ball over his head and high point a little bit better, but what a great play by him. He actually played baseball and football at George Fox. That set up this field goal from Alex Hale to give the Cowboys a 10-7 lead, 8:55 to go first half. Cowboy defense forced another punt from Cincinnati. The offense gets it back on their own 18-yard line. Hey, give the rock to Ollie Gordon right there, 15, 16 yards. Give it again to Ollie Gordon. Stumbles a little bit, but still falls forward for a couple of yards. Second sets up about a 2nd and 7, maybe a 2nd and 8. There's Jake Springfield doing a wonderful job. There's offensive line position. Look at that, just patience, cut back, and just waiting for his blocks to develop. Let's back that up and just watch how great of a job. Just an outside zone play for Ollie Gordon. So here you're going to see the offensive line, I believe, just outside. Yep, outside zone to the right here. You have a backside right here, an H-back to make sure that edge is set. So that's going to give Ollie Gordon the time to stutter step, because if you don't block this backside 9 and he stutter steps here without a quarterback that you're going to threaten the other side of the line of scrimmage with, by the time he stutter steps, that defensive end can then chase that down. So you need to block him, get him sealed off, as you see right there. That is a great job by the H-back. I believe that is Josiah Johnson cutting off that backside 9 tech. That gives Ollie Gordon all the time he needs to pick his hole, of which right there, see how he picked his hole? You have great blocks. You have a great block coming here. You have a seal block to the sideline here, seal block there. Look at Rashodowens blocking downfield, and then just look at the vision of Ollie Gordon as he cuts that thing back. Then there's the burst right there to get good yards and another great gain. Just a well-executed play, Alan Bowman. Now here is one of his mistakes that we saw, in this game. Like I said in the open, one of his most inaccurate games, in my opinion, as far as missing some receivers. Missed Brennanpressley. That's an easy throw for him. I think he would be the first one to tell you that. Then he throws it at the feet of Leon Johnson. So that sets up a 4th down play, of which the Cowboys eventually get, and then they stall as we go forward, as we see here. Here's a big 4th down play. Leon Johnson making just a wonderful play, pins that slant up against his shoulder pads, gets the first down. Ollie Gordon gets stuffed on first down. Boy, I'll tell you what, when you stop the team on first down and make it second and long, your odds of getting them stopped, this is going to be about a 2nd and 13 now, really increase. This looks like an offensive line issue right here, but this is supposed to be a wham block. And what I mean by wham block, this right here, Josiah Johnson, intentionally, this nose guard right here, nose tackle, whatever you want to call him, he is unblocked. And you do that on purpose to get him to come up field too far. So as he comes up field too far, then this H-back just comes off and picks him off. So watch this. Unblocked. See how he's unblocked right there? And they just whiff right there. Josiah Johnson, for as great as he's played, watch Josiah Johnson. Okay, we're going to run that. I'm going to try to stop it at the exact moment. See how he's unblocked right here and then just whiff right there. It just happens sometimes, and Ollie Gordon goes down. That sets up a field goal attempt and one that he actually just hooked. And so he did not make it. The score remained 10-7 with 3:04 to go in the first half. So you had a turnover by Alan of which he threw behind Pressley. It tipped up in the air. Cincinnati intercepted it right before half. Cincinnati called a timeout, and instead of throwing a Hail Mary, they ran the ball. Their running back actually got injured. That was just a bizarre set of circumstances. And hey, quietly, this was one of the biggest plays of the game. Rashodowens, this is second down and about 8 or 9, and he just pins himself against the sideline, keeps his feet in bounds. So instead of third and very, very, very long, it's third and just, less than probably 1, of which the Cowboys get this play right here. And there goes Ollie right there down to the 14-yard line. Ollie Gordon, he is fired up. He's got the crowd fired up. It's a 3-point game. Hey, it's cold, but everybody is ready to go. Look at that great block right there, Braden Cassidy, to set that thing downhill. And once Ollie Gordon gets going downhill, very few can stop him. Ollie Gordon, boy, he brings the energy. He brings the punch, and he is on his way to 277. Again, only a second back. On the first back since Barry Sanders I like this play here, Brennanpressley. First back since Barry Sanders to have 250 yards in back-to-back games. Let's watch this play one more time. I do think it's going to roll. So here is that play action. That keeps the linebackers. And then you're just going to have let me show you exactly what made this play so great. This is route running with a purpose. This isn't just running plays. Watch Brennanpressley. He's going to back up just a smooch, just a little bit to make it look like a quick to this safety right here. And because of that, this safety is going to drive on that. Then once he drives, Brennanpressley's actually going to go on the wheel. So then you're going to have, the quick wheel here. And then you're also going to see a slant right there by Leon Johnson. So you give the quick look. Let me show you one more time. Brennanpressley, see if I can get it stopped right there. See how he gave that quick look? And then, so this corner right here thinks it's going to be a quick that he needs to drive on. So instead of that, he ends up actually running a wheel route behind this slant, and this corner just is not able to catch up with that. They try to pass it off. They get it confused. That corner right there does not see Pressley coming. It is over his head, and it is 7 points. And hey, you kind of felt like once the Cowboys got a 2-score lead, the way Cincinnati runs the ball, they don't have a real, threat as far as a long ball in the pass game. You felt like it was going to be very difficult for them once the Cowboys got a 2-score lead. They got it early in the third quarter, and they were away and rolling. So this has really been the story of Cincinnati's season all year long, especially Emory Jones. Hey, do a good job, run the ball well, stop the run reasonably well, of which Cincinnati did in the first half, and then just kind of fall apart whenever you start falling behind in games. And really, we did not see a whole lot of fight in Cincinnati once Oklahoma State got up a couple of scores, and especially from the quarterback, Emory Jones. He just makes mistakes at the worst time. You need your dudes to step up whenever you feel momentum. Kind of like we saw the Oklahoma State defense with Nick Martin when OSU turned the ball over. He gave the momentum right back. Instead of doing that, he actually adds to it and snowballs it and usually makes a mistake like this. Give Cameron Epps credit for being the right guy at the right time and finishing the play and actually intercepting that ball. How many times have we seen a defensive player have that tip drill happen and bounce it around and actually drop the ball, and then you just kind of leave that door open for the offense to go ahead and get that third down? Cameron Epps, he actually finished the play, got the ball back to the Cowboys. You really felt good at this point. OSU with a 10-point lead. They get the ball back in plus field position here. on the Cincinnati 27-yard line. So after the Cameron Epps interception, OSU goes right down the field and takes advantage of it. Here it's Alan Bowman, another one of those that of course, that's a little tougher pass, but another one that he's a little bit high with, not exactly accurate. I do not like this orbit motion for all the great things Oklahoma State has done. Offensively, I think that's one of the things I need to put back into the trash can. I don't like the orbit motion. I like the handoff underneath on the rocket plays. Here is just simply a great play by Oklahoma State. This is so well drawn up. Let me back this up to Brennanpressley. Okay, and let me kind of show you what happened here. Okay, so if you remember that corner on that last play right here, this corner, remember he's sitting down in matter of fact, Brennanpressley ran by him as that corner sitting down. So you know that they're going to pass this off, especially. Let me show you. Watch this. Okay, see this motion right here? Okay, Brennanpressley is watching to see if this corner follows him. That tells you it's man-to-man. If this corner stays home, that tells you it's going to be a zone. Look at Alan Bowman. See, he's looking directly at this safety right here. If this safety stays home and covers Brennanpressley, or he might be looking at this corner to see if this corner follows Pressley, he sees that this corner stays home right there. That tells Alan Bowman this is going to be zone. That tells Brennanpressley, who's looking at this safety here, that's going to be zone. That tells them that this safety, if they play the same zone they were playing on the last possession, is going to squat right here in kind of a cover 2 look. So watch what the Cowboys do against that. Right here, Brennanpressley, okay, watch his route here. He goes outside, okay, so this makes the corner think that he's going to drive down on this kind of a speed cut right here, but then watch Brennanpressley pivot back to the inside, and that is just, I mean, you know, that corner that squatted down playing outside leverage, that is just simply Casey Dunn paying attention to what the defense is trying to do to this passing game and having a counter off of it. You know, having a play off a play off a play to defeat what the defense is doing with your best athlete and Brennanpressley. Boy, give Casey Dunn a world of credit there. And here, you know, sometimes you drop great plays like Casey Dunn did there on the play before. Sometimes your great players, they just go do it on their own. That was Ollie Gordon. He got into the end zone, gave the Cowboys a 24-7 lead. Get in the end zone, young man. Ollie Gordon for 7. To be quite honest with you, as Pat Jones used to say quite a bit when he was Oklahoma State head coach, the game was pretty much over for all intents and purposes, 24-7. And, you know, Cincinnati really doesn't have a pass game to make up 17 points in 21 minutes. But I just wanted to show you this play. This was just a tremendous play right here by djmckinney, one of those young, really good secondary players Oklahoma State has. And hey, this Oklahoma State defense has been absolutely fantastic. Matter of fact, they've had 16 fourth downs against them in the last month, and only 3 of them have been converted to first downs. And then right off of that fourth down stop, Ollie Gordon down to the 3-yard line. Ollie Gordon heating up, having a big night. So it started slow. As a matter of fact, he got very, very frustrated after his fumble. But after that fumble, he was straight fire for Oklahoma State. Boy, he was super, super good. Here is that ball down to Brennanpressley down to the 1-yard line on the second and goal play. So here's 3rd down and goal for Oklahoma State. And watch the tush push here by Braden Cassidy on the rocket play. Watch Braden Cassidy right there. Tush push into the end zone. Brennanpressley gets into pay dirt, 31-7 Cowboys. So the game is pretty much over at this point, but I wanted to show you the last 2 scores. Ollie Gordon right there. Look at that patience, just sidestep, waits for his blocks to develop, and then just simply outruns the entire defense to the house. Ollie Gordon, he just stamped 277 on the night. He tells everybody, shh, Ollie Gordon's in town. I am with the best back in the United States of America in the last month. Look at him outrun everybody to the end zone. Hey, you know, the question was asked, what is this 40? Who cares? He outrun. It just seems like he never gets caught. At least he didn't on that play. Ollie Gordon puts a stamp on a great night for him. But, hey, what happens if you have to put in a different back? We've seen Jaden Nixon have really nice plays. He's kind of that scat back type. What about Elijah Collins? Look at Bryce Drummond right here. Boom. That is the Pioneer Woman's son right there, making a great block from Pawhuska, Oklahoma. Elijah Collins to the 5, and get in the end zone, young man. Yes, sir. Was not going to be denied the Michigan State transfer. Elijah Collins did such a great job being motivated, getting into the end zone. Ollie Gordon loves it. You got to know that. Everybody's having having fun in the America's Greatest Homecoming. Bryce Drummond right there, you saw 47. Pancake right there. How about the Pioneer Woman's son for Pawhuska with a pancake? Elijah Collins would not be denied into the end zone. A great night for the Cowboys. So there you have it. It was super fun on Friday. The wife and I, we went to walk around, had a super fun time for that. I heard somewhere around 100,000 people attended homecoming. It was a great time at the parade, and then also the game Saturday night, 7 o'clock. A little bit chilly, but get some hot chocolate in your system and warm up and have a good time watching Oklahoma State defeat Cincinnati 45-13. A great time, and that sets up Bedlam. Going to be a huge week, and that sets up, hey, maybe a winner takes all. Maybe the winner's going to be in Arlington and the loser is not. Super fun for the last time Oklahoma State's going to play OU at Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater as a conference, as a conference member together. So, hey, that's kind of sad, but honestly, growing up in Stillwater, being an Oklahoma State fan for 50 years, there's a lot of ways that I'm not sad. There's a lot of ways that I'm glad to see the Oklahoma game gone because I have such, bad memories of that game and that series over the years. But, hey, the last time OSU played OU in Boone Pickens, it was a great night. You remember Caleb Williams went down to defeat to the Cowboys, and that was the year 2 years ago where OSU made the conference championship game. Hey, can we repeat that? We sure would love to see that. Hey, would also like to remind you we do have a Twitter account, an OState Daily Twitter. We have an Instagram account, a Facebook, and a TikTok, and obviously the YouTube page because you're on it right now. Make sure and check out all of our other videos. Check out Chase Woodwiska on his social medias as well. And make sure and interact with this video. Leave a like, share it, tell all your friends about OState Daily. Interact with it as much as you can. That gets us suggested in that algorithm on YouTube, gets us more views with that, and that way we can keep growing and doing what we love to do, which is providing videos on Oklahoma State athletics. So until next time, I'd like to thank you for tuning in and say, go Pokes, beat the Sooners, Bedlam Week 23.